And yeah, there's some slight bubbling occurring. An interesting dough. Here's the special ingredient. Get that in there. We're essentially going to be creating a slurry. Get that mixing. It's got a very intense aroma. The magic ingredient. Folks, I've been making biscuits for 15 years, and this is the best recipe I've been able to develop. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you make it. So we have a few ingredients here. We're going to have some all-purpose flour, nothing too wild. It can be cheap or expensive, whichever you have on hand. Besan flour, which is also chickpea flour, B-E-S-A-N, chickpea flour. We have maseca, which is tortilla masa. That's not corn flour, that's tortilla masa. It's a different thing, and it works beautifully here. So this is the magic ingredient, star anise. It's like catnip for dogs, they can't resist it. It's that black licoricey flavor. And another secret ingredient that helps with bad breath, fennel seed. You want to see poop breath go away, give your dogs fennel seeds. Grind them up into the masa, and I also put them in whole in the masa. An entire package of bologna. Not necessarily garlic, it was all I had on hand. And then there's a final ingredient which will be coming up. I just didn't have room for the shot. So here I'm taking some fennel seed and putting in the spice grinder with some star anise. And the star anise really does create kind of a magical effect. Dogs are just compelled by that flavor for whatever reason. There you go. It's got a very intense aroma. Don't forget, I also put raw seed, whole raw seed, into the dough as well. Here's the special ingredient. It's chicken livers. I use about 3.5 pounds. They're very cheap, and I rinse them out. And it ends up providing the base and a lot of the moisture for the batter, or for the dough, I should say. To that also gets added the entire package of bologna. Get that centered. I do not add the ring. It just gets in the way. I go ahead and peel that off, the whole thing. Just break that up, get that in there. We're essentially going to be creating a slurry. It's also known as goop. We're just going to be taking this with an immersion blender. You can also use a Cuisinart if you have one. I prefer an immersion blender in this case. It's a lot less mess. They're like $20. I got that for $20 on Amazon. Way cheaper than a Cuisinart. And just punch in there and just get that mixing. And pretty quickly, all those chicken livers and all that bologna will become kind of a consistent paste. Okay, so what we're going to do then is add about 2 cups of maseca, 2 cups of all-purpose flour, about a cup of besan, all into a bowl. It's coming together really nicely, actually. You want a dough that's soft and pliable, but not very sticky. At this point, I've just decided to put in about another 2 cups of all-purpose flour, and I'm just stirring it around. It's usually what needs to happen at this point, especially when you're not really working with specific moisture levels, because they'll change per batch. And as you can see, it's really getting stiff and coming together nicely. And I'm going to get in there with my hands and start kneading this together and trying to get the dry to the wet and get some of that stuff in the bowl mixed into that dough. And we end up working with it for a few minutes. Okay, and now we're ready to turn this out onto the board and start working this down with wet hands. It'll probably stick to most boards. If you're lucky to have a marble board, it probably wouldn't stick too bad. And we just get folding. It's not even really a knead at this point, it's just a fold. If your hands start to stick, feel free to get them wet with some cold water. We're going to now take fennel seed and just get about 3 to 4 tablespoons in there. And then just fold and fold and fold. Once you're done folding it, you're going to then want to put it in a bowl and let it rest for 20 minutes so that everything can fully hydrate. It's going to make the dough a lot easier to handle too. And just scoop it up in there any way you can. Once we get this after 20 minutes, we'll go ahead and take a look at it and see if we like it. If it's looking good, we'll go ahead and get it back out on the board and get it ready for rolling. Go ahead and get about another half cup to a cup of flour, spread it out nice and liberally. Get in there and just start folding it and working it. But as you can see, this becomes an interesting dough. Okay, so we're going to take a piece of the dough about the size of a racquetball. We're just going to roll it out. Nice and simple, nothing crazy. Flip it, roll it, flip it, roll it. Try to keep it in a nice circle. You don't want it too thin, you don't want it too thick, but ultimately it's your preference on how you want to handle it. I try to aim for about an 1/8 inch thickness. If it's thicker or thinner, I'm not going to beat myself up over it. Now what you're going to do is score lightly. I'm not cutting through these, I'm just scoring so that when these are cooked and they dry out, they can break off in squares very easily. Alright, we'll get ready to throw that in the pan. And I'm on medium high, probably a 7 out of a 10, or 3/4 power on your stovetop, electric stovetop. You should take about 30 seconds on each side. The trick with tortilla-like items is you do a quick cook on one side, you flip it on the other side, let that cook, and then when you do the third flip, you should start to see a pillow effect or a rise, little bubbles pop up, etc. That's how you know that you're doing a really good job at this. Here we go, and you can see the lines are a lot more defined. There's a little bit of caramelization there, and yeah, there's some slight bubbling occurring. It's probably not easy to pick up, but you can kind of see it coming in. And I just, at that point, use my hands. And I stack them up and I put them in the fridge. And whenever it's time for treats, I just grab a half of one or break it off. And it works 99% of the time. Dogs absolutely love these treats, folks. Thanks a lot.